All right, so welcome back here. And in the last video, we added our logout here, as you can see, and that was working good. And now in this video, we're going to start displaying some tweets. And right now, we don't have any sort of home page or anything. So we need to go and add that. So we're going to add a home page, and we're going to kind of have a similar layout to this, except for we're going to have all our tweets below. And right now we're not going to be doing anything with our followers, so we'll add that back in later, but we just want to get some tweets displayed as we can. So that is good, and let's get right into it. All right, so come over here, and first of all, I just want to tell you to add these style files. So I have an alltweets.css right here, and just some basic styles to make that look okay. So you can copy that down or get it from the repo. And then the other one was this home.css. So same thing. You can either get that from the repo or try to copy it down in slow-mo. But I don't want to type out all that CSS, so go ahead and do that, and then we'll get into the actual coding. All right, so the first thing we want to do is come into our backend here in our server, and we have a tweet.ts already, so you'll have that, but come over here and we want to add one thing. So we want to add a t.model.created@. Okay, and you might have to restart your server in order to get that error to go away there, but that should be good, and you should have a created@ field here. And if we go down and check in our schema.graphql, we check our tweets, we have this created@ now in our schema. Okay, so come over to your query.ts also, and we need to add a kind of all tweets type query here. So what we're going to do in order to get that is we can just copy this down here. Okay, and then we're just going to replace here and come in here, and we're just going to say tweets. Okay, and then this is going to be of the type tweet. Great, and then this is going to be ctx.prisma.user, but we want ctx.prisma.tweet, and that's going to be find many. And that's literally all we have to do to get all of our tweets in a query. So pretty simple. Go ahead and save that. Again, you might have to potentially restart your server, but once you do that, you can come over here and we can go localhost 4000. Now we come over here and we have a tweets query, and it has all our fields there. Okay, so that's it for the back end. So we can get rid of this now. We can close this up. And now let's get into coding out the front end. All right, so the first thing we want to do is create a new page. So let's come over to our pages here, open this up. Let's go file, and we'll just say home.tsx. That's great. And it's going to be very similar structure to our profile. So come to your profile, copy that, and then we're going to paste in that profile here. Okay, and then we want to change, obviously, the name here to home, and on the bottom to home. Great. And then we want to get rid of basically everything we had on the inside here. But we want to keep our structure. So we can get rid of this here. Kind of all the way up. Get rid of the avatar. And yeah, basically we're just going to get rid of everything other than the primary and the left. So up to the profile here. So get rid of that. And then we're going to come in below here, and we're going to go .home, and that's going to give us a new div there. And then we're going to go .home/header, or -header rather, and a div in there. And then in here, we're going to go h3, and then we're going to go home-title. Okay, and in here, we're just going to say home. And then inside here is where we're going to have our homepage tweets and all of our tweets. And those are going to be two components that we're going to create. So let's right now just do an H1, and we're just going to say tweets are going to go there. All right, so that looks good there. Now let's come up to the top and we're gonna bring in some different things here. So instead of profile here, we wanna bring in home.css, so that should be good. Save that. And then after we'll bring in our tweets. But let's just check this out because I think our queries are gonna be the same, so these should be good. I think everything else should be basically good, but let's check out and make sure this is working. So what we wanna do, we want to come over to our app.tsx here. And in our authenticated route, so if we are authenticated, we have this users right now, but we don't need that. So let's go and get rid of that. And then also let's add an exact here. So if we have a slash here, it's just going to go to this. And instead of users, which isn't really something that we're going to need, we're just going to add a home. Okay, so we can auto bring that in. And now let's go check out and see if this is working. Okay, so let's refresh this and then we can redirect. Once that's done, we can redirect over to // and we're getting the same thing right now. So right now we're not really showing anything, but it is giving us. Now we do seem to have a little issue here. For some reason, this has changed to blue color instead of black, so we want to change that back. All right, so our issue seems to be coming in our login.css, and we're looking at our A tags here. So our link tag and our color here. Let's just comment that out and see if that does it for us. Okay, that seems to work, so that's good. So we can get rid of that for now. And our home seems to be working good. So this is all good. So now let's come and actually create some of these components. So let's come over into our components here and we're going to get kind of all our tweets. So let's come in here, create a new file, and we'll call it alltweets.tsx. And we'll just go RFC, create a React functional component, give some structure here, and then we'll have all our tweets here. Okay, so this is good. Now let's start building this out a little bit. So let's first add our query. So we're gonna come up above all this and we're gonna add our all tweets query here. So we're gonna go const tweets underscore query, and that's gonna be equal to GQL. Bring that in. And we're going to go backticks here, close those off. And then inside here, we're going to go query, and then we're going to say tweets query. Open up some brackets, and then we'll add all our fields right here. So tweets. Let's add the rest. Okay, so we're going to be looking at all our tweets here with a tweets query. We're going to ID when it's created at, because we're going to want that. The content is the tweet itself. Then we're going to get our author and then our profile with our avatar and whatnot. So that's looking good. Let's come down and add it here below this. So let's go const as usual, and then we'll go again loading, and then we have error. Kind of the typical ones we have, data, perfect. Then we'll go use query, which we got to bring in. And then we will pass that in as tweets query, just like that. Okay, and then the same things with the loading and the error state, pass those in. Same thing as usual. And then we're going to want an interface here because we're going to do a little TypeScript. So interface, and then we'll call it all tweets. And then we'll pass in the different fields here. Okay, so that's our interface here. So you can see we got the different fields here. And as you can see, I don't know if we've done this much before, but you can nest these different things here. So we got our author, and then our profile is nested as well. So that's looking pretty okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get all those tweets and display them in a certain way. So let's type all that out down here. Now for a date here, we're going to want to pass in, we're going to want to use a library called datefns. So we got to add that. So come down to your terminal, open up a new window, make sure you're in the web folder here. And once you're there, you can go yarn add, and it's called date-fns is the library. So once that's good, we can close out of this. And we're going to add in here, that's why we needed our created at field there, because that's what we're going to be using to show the date of when the tweet was created. So open up some braces here. Format distance. And we're going to go sub days here. Bring that in. And then we're going to go new date. And then we're going to pass in the date that it was created at. So tweet dot created at. And then there's a second argument here, and that's going to be 0 here. And then we want to go to the new date and call that there. And then finally, it's getting a little scrunched over here. We're just going to go a go. And we need a comma here. Make sure that works good. And then we can go ahead and save that. So the sub days are going to be the difference. So we have when was created at, and this is our today. So that's how long ago the tweet was created, basically, is what that's going to show, if that makes any sense at all. Hopefully it does. Okay, so then come down below here and just finish this off. All right, so let's just go over this real quick. We're going to get our data with all our tweets. So that's basically every tweet we have. We're passing in our interface of all our tweets here. That's what that is. We have a container with a header. This is going to be our avatar image. And then we're going to have our name and the time that the tweet was created. And also the content of the tweet, of course. So that's good. Let's bring this over to the home real quick. And instead of tweets here, we'll just go below tweets actually, and we'll just go all tweets and bring that in. Perfect. Go ahead and save that and let's check it out. Refresh this. All right, so this is showing up right now. The styline's a little bit off, but we will fix that. But we have our name here, and we have our test tweet and all that. So that's looking good. Now let's we want to be able to create a tweet up here. So let's go ahead and add that. So come into your component here, and let's add another file here, and we will call it homepage rather, tweet and .tsx. So this is going to be fairly similar to our tweet.tsx. So let's go copy this over. And we can just paste that in here. And we want to change the name of it, of course. So, sorry, come over here. And instead of tweet, we will say homepage tweet. Now let's go and start changing a few things. So a lot of it's going to be the same. So our create mutation tweet can stay. Our tweet values can stay. So all this can stay, our create tweet mutation with our me query and all that. We don't need this as a modal. So we can get rid of this. This can stay. This validation schema can stay. Again, get rid of this. Everything up until here can go because we don't have a modal, which means we can get rid of this modal here. We're going to add a class name to this div here. And that's going to be equal to home page tweet. That's great. And then our formic, we're going to have our initial values. Our validate schema is going to be there. Our on submit's going to be the same. The only thing, we can get rid of this here. The values, great. And I think that is pretty good. Content, we still want this. What's happening? That can stay the same. Error message is good. We do not need this footer, I don't believe. So get rid of that. And for this tweet button, we're going to change some of the styling. So the class name, instead of tweet button, we can go home tweet button dash button. All right, then actually below the formic here, we want to add in that footer. So let's go dot footer, and that'll add that. And that's just going to be a line below that. So go ahead and save that. That should be pretty good. Let's go ahead and add that to our home.tsx. So above actually are all tweets here. We can get rid of this tweets now. Okay, so in here we just want to go homepage tweets, homepage tweet rather. So add that in, auto import it, and go ahead and save that. All right, so this is looking a lot better now. So we have what's happening, we have our tweet functionality, and then we're going to show our tweets below here. But some of the styling's so a little off, so let's add some changes here. Okay, so I realized we're not actually bringing in our styles. So of course the styling is going to be off a little bit. So let's import, and it's -- styles - all tweets .css. All right, so go ahead and save that. Let's check it out. Go ahead and hit refresh. And now we got our styles looking okay. So our test tweet, we have our name there. Things are looking good. And then we can have add a tweet here. All right, so let's actually test out the functionality of this tweet, make sure it works. So let's just say another test tweet, and we can press tweet here. And then if we refresh, we can see we got our second tweet there. And as you can see, this was our date FNS rather, less than a minute ago. So it'll give us kind of a nice little date there. Okay, so I think that's basically it. Obviously, when we press tweet, we'll actually want to refetch our queries here. So maybe we should add that right now, actually. So right now, when we tweet this, we're doing a me query, but what we'll actually want to refetch is this tweets query. So we can say, come up here rather, and we can say export, and that'll export it for us, and then we can bring it in here. So instead of the me query here, what was it? Tweets query. So auto import that. Now save this. Now let's go check it out. Refresh this. Now when we add this, we want to be able to refresh. So it should show up automatically. So let's try that out. Last test tweet. And let's press that, and you can see it shows up right away. So that is awesome. Now I think we have one other styling issue here, which is, I think I had a little line below this. So let's check that out. All right, so come over to the home.css here, and we're just going to add a border bottom to this home.title here, and then we're just going to add a little padding and just the width like that, just because we want a little line. So let's go and check that out. All right, that looks okay. All right, so that's basically all we need for this video. It's starting to kind of come together a little bit there. We got our tweets. Obviously, we're just showing our tweets because we're not following anyone. We don't even have any other users or anything. We'll fill out this right, maybe with the most popular tweets or something eventually. But I think in the next video, we're going to start adding the ability to like tweets. So that should be interesting. So yeah, stay tuned for that one, and I'll see you in the next video.